If you think money is scarce, you hoard it because you believe that no more money will come to you. If you know money is abundant, more money will flow to you. This isn't about being wasteful. It doesn't mean you have to go and always empty your pockets and buy a lot of dumb stuff and throw away all your other stuff. It doesn't mean you have to waste your money. But it's switching the mindset of money is not just some scarce thing that you don't know how to make, that you will never have more of, and so you need to hoard every single dollar that you've got. This is honestly something that I am continuing to rewire myself on. I struggled a lot with money, especially in the early days of my business. Even growing up, I grew up in a middle-class family. My parents are behind me on the wall. Hold on, there we go. This is me when I'm 8 or 9 and my parents here. They believed in education a lot and they didn't have a ton of money. We weren't poor, but they spent all of their money basically on putting the 3 of us kids, I have 2 sisters, through private school. So any money that they made basically poured into our education. And as a result, we didn't have, money for other things. And where my friends at these fancy schools were getting, BMWs for their 16th birthday so they can go off and drive, I didn't get any of that. And it's not woe is me, but it's more I just had a scarce mentality around money. In my first business, I was making $300 a month. I was eating the same bean salad lunch every day because it would fill me up and wasn't very expensive. When we celebrated a win, we'd go to McDonald's. If we got a new client, like, hey, we sold another piece of our software, we'd go to McDonald's and order a large fries and share that between the 3 of us because it was cheap and we wanted just some little way to celebrate. And I just remember how painful it was to feel like you have no money and you can't buy stuff, and I couldn't hang out with my friends and I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And I think that has a traumatic effect. Maybe that's you as well. You have a scarcity mindset around money that you don't know how to make it. And so anything you've got, you got to really hold on to it and protect it. And again, I'm not advocating for being reckless or stupid or just throwing money away. Be smart about how you're going to invest and use your money. The more important thing is developing the mindset that you can create money, that by bringing a lot of value to people, you can make more money, you can turn it into something. So one of the things that I've done recently that has helped both myself and Nina, my wife, is we create what we call a care fund. And every month when we're doing our numbers, Nina will put together how much we've made this month, how much cash flows come in, etc. And then we allocate a certain percentage for a care fund that we have to go off and spend. Either for ourselves or for other people. And so my default is to invest, right? Like invest back into the business, invest into markets, invest into assets, just invest. And that's a great, good mindset. The downside of that is you don't get to see the impact that it can create. And so said, you know what? We need to dedicate a percentage every month to go and help somebody else. And maybe it's help ourselves. On the weekend, Nina bought a very expensive purse. We went shopping. She bought a very expensive purse. We bought a Chanel bag, and probably more expensive than she's ever bought a bag. And for me, it's like, oh my gosh, you can't be spending this amount of money on a bag. But it's worth celebrating yourself. So you know what? Like, we earned that. We did so much work in our business. You can go and afford that. We've also used the money to donate to charities. We've also used the money to support our family and things that they needed or wanted in their lives. And it's something that we have to spend every month. Nina asked, hey, can we just save it so we can invest more and then that leads to more in the future? Like, no, we're already saving other money to do that. Like, that has to be spent every month. And so where we have to sit, this might sound crazy. We have to sit down every month and figure out how are we going to spend this money? Because my default is not to go and spend. The default is to invest or just to save. And so doing that, it doesn't have to be a big amount of money. It could be $100 a month that you force yourself to spend on making somebody else's life better, or even your own, like that thing that you would never buy for yourself. You know what? I've worked hard. Like, I'm going to buy it. Or you're going to go buy somebody a meal, or you're going to go and give a homeless person $100, right? Like, you're going to do something with it. Because what it does is starts to change your mentality around it. It starts to make you feel like more will come, that I'm creating. And so whether it's $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000, like, you know, whatever it is, I'm not advocating you go drain your bank account and just go crazy and buy a Chanel bag, you know, but allocating a certain percentage every month so that you can start to rewire your beliefs around money, that it's not just super scarce. So that would be step number one, right? Allocate some kind of budget to helping, especially others. Because when you help others, it just makes you feel so good. And you can help others in a lot of ways. You can help them with your time. You can help them with your expertise. You can help them, you know, not just give a man a fish, but teach them how to fish, right? But there's the immediate gratification of helping somebody, buying the coffee for the person behind you in line, or seeing somebody that you know that $25, $100 will make a big difference. And like, you were able to afford to do that, gives you the extra oomph to go off and want to do more of it. Like, if you know that $25 changed that person's life, imagine if you can give them $2,500. But to do that, you'd have to go off and build a bigger business, right? So the core of your business needs to be serving and helping and contributing back. And you can't afford yet to give somebody $2,500, but you could if you kept building your business. And so it just gives that little extra bit of motivation and incentive, right, to get out there and start to do it. So allocate a certain percentage. Second is to be around people who are generous. Be around the people who have the mindset that you want to have. If there's a belief that you want to adopt, the fastest way to do it is to be around the people who constantly are screaming that belief, the people who are constantly living that belief. So if you love my view on something, great, hang around me more often. There's lots of videos. You love Grant Cardone's view, or Gary Vee's view, or Oprah's view on something. The more you hang around them and watch their content and read their books and listen to their speeches, the more you're going to start to adopt that same belief system. So if you want to believe that money is not scarce, then you need to be hanging around people who believe that money is not scarce, because probably the people in your life believe money is really scarce. And the people that I grew up with believe that money is really scarce, the closest people around me. And so it doesn't mean you stop hanging out with them, but you need to inject new people in, even if it's just through YouTube videos of the people who believe the thing that you want to believe, because otherwise you get pulled back down, because your environment has been created to keep you where you are. So if you want to change where you are, you have to change the environment. And it used to be that you have to really change it. You had to go somewhere else. You had to move out. You had to find a mentor to hang out with and have coffee with consistently. Now you can do it through YouTube. I've been inspired by tons of mentors who I've never met because of the content that I've learned from them on YouTube. But it takes the effort and intention to be consistently around it. That this is the belief system that you want to have, you need to create that habit for yourself. From the things that are on the wall, to the clothes that you wear, to the media that you're consuming every day, being intentional with that to say, this is the belief system that I want to have. I recognize I'm not there yet, but this is this belief system I want to have, and I want to be around the people who believe this to their core, because their belief in that thing is stronger than your belief against it. And whoever's more confident wins. And so when you're around the people who believe that thing so much, they will pull you towards them to start having that similar belief system. And then everything starts to change. I think having a scarcity mindset is extremely limiting. I've lived through really intense versions of it. I still feel like I'm coming out of it. I've grown a lot compared to where I used to be, but still have a long ways to go. I probably still have things that I'm holding on to that I shouldn't. I probably still should be more generous than I am. And I'm working through it as well. I might just be a little bit further ahead on the curve. Definitely compared to 19-year-old Evan, who thought money was the most scarce thing in the world. When you can learn to make that rewiring happen, that's how you start to change your life. So if you look at the people around you, look at their beliefs, especially around money, and see what do they think, and then see where they're at in their life compared to the people who have different beliefs around money and where they're at. Who would you rather be? And you could be there. You could be that person if you start to change your beliefs, your environment, start to help more people with it, start to allow the money to flow. Because when you start to believe that you can create a lot more money for yourself, a lot of things start to change. If you want another Evan Rant video that just might give you the confidence you need, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there. The key to experimenting is expecting to suck. Just expect to suck. Expect it not to work out. Expect it to be a total disaster. Expect to suck, which gives yourself the permission to go and try.